Hello, my name is Stephanie Zavilla, and I'm the sports psychology and mental skills trainer here at Fast Performance. And today, I just want to take a few moments to give you a quick introduction on supportive sport parenting. Being the best sport parent that you can be is crucial in that it ensures that your athlete enjoys success on and off the field and continues a love of the game and a love of the pursuit of excellence. Today we will be briefly touching on a few subjects within the realm of sport parenting. First, fostering a healthy view of success with your athlete. Second, looking at creating a present-minded focus so that your athlete gets the most out of their experience on and off the field. And third, looking at the conversations that occur after the game. Let's go ahead and dive into this idea of developing a healthy view of success. And let's begin by looking through the lens of building a growth mindset versus a scoreboard mentality. You may have heard of Carol Dweck's work on this subject. She basically speaks to the fact that if an athlete defines success by the numbers, the wins, the stats, the recognition, they are creating conditional confidence, as well as a very black and white model for success. You either win or you didn't. A growth mindset is based off of the idea that mistakes are a springboard for success, an opportunity to grow into a stronger athlete, both physically and mentally. So, how do we build it? Well, you as a parent can begin by praising values rather than results, recognizing your athlete's grit or the fact that they did not give up even when things got hard, or how despite the team's loss, they were a good sportsman or a good teammate. This is extremely important because these are character traits that we want to see repeated. And the behavior associated with these character traits is in their control, when some of those other things are not in their control. In this way, they can always walk away from a game or a situation having experienced some level of success and a growth-oriented mindset to get even better. I think some of this also speaks to how we view competition. The Latin root of the word competition actually means striving together. And it's funny how that definition has been skewed and misinterpreted over the years. We really want athletes to thank their competitors for bringing their best, because at the end of the day, they're better for it. A great way to discuss this with your athlete is simply by asking, why are you a better athlete or a better teammate because of what happened today? Two things are accomplished in this question. First, you're helping your athlete realize that something good can come out of every situation. And second, you're being proactive and helping them be proactive by thinking about what did I do well and can continue doing well moving forward versus being more reactive in that what went wrong today. Let's move forward to this idea of present-minded focus. When we look at today's society, we see distractions everywhere. The busyness of our lives, the constant electronics, social media, the speed of our everyday existence. It's no wonder our athletes have a hard time staying focused in the moment. So if that's the case, how can we help our athletes stay in the now and not let their mind wander to the future or ruminate in the past? Well, let's take a deeper look at where the mind goes under pressure. Maybe an athlete is standing on the mound. All eyes are on them. This athlete could potentially be paralyzed by thoughts of previous at-bats where maybe they made an impactful mistake. And the thoughts might stray to, I have to perform well here, or don't do that again, or even bringing themselves down like, how could you have made such a stupid mistake? Their mind also might drift to the future, thinking things like, what if I mess up again? What if my teammates blame me for the outcome of this game? Or even, what will my coach think of me? What about that scout in the stands? What if I'm ruining my chance of playing college ball? Those thoughts are enough to make anybody freeze up. So let's talk about a few ways that you can help your athletes stay more present and grounded in the moment. When working with athletes, sometimes I like to talk about the circle of control. I have them identify what is in their control and what is out of their control. Outside of the circle are things like environment, conditions, the opinions of others, the performance of others, etc. Things that no matter what we do, we can't really impact. What is inside the circle effort, and attitude. Recognizing that the past is outside of the circle, the future is outside of the circle, but the now and what you choose to do with it is inside the circle. I also like to talk about recentering rituals, finding a way to know that you have left the present moment and having the awareness to bring yourself back. I typically like to do this through the use of mindfulness meditation training. For example, we focus on our breath, and if my mind drifts to the thought of, I'm pretty hungry, I really want some pizza later, then I recognize that I've gotten distracted and I bring myself back to focusing on my breath. This is basic attention allocation training. An easy way to talk about a recentering ritual with your athlete might be, all right, you realize you've been distracted by a thought or something else in the game. You take a nice, slow, deep breath and you focus on what comes next. The next play, what you can do now to prepare for it. Maybe it's using that deep breath to breathe out tension, breathe out negativity. Maybe it's imagining your next pitch or focal point. Either way, a ritual becomes a ritual with diligent practice and repetition. Let's shift gears to our final segment, the conversations that happen after the game. In a recent study that interviewed thousands of young athletes, when asked what their least favorite part of sport was, they overwhelmingly answered the ride home. Now, these athletes all understand, obviously, that their parent wanting to talk about the game or dissect their performance comes from a place of love and wanting them to succeed. So, how can we make this time more effective and more enjoyable for the athlete so that not only they're improving, but maybe they'll be willing to stay in sport longer, which is obviously our goal? Well, here's a couple of thoughts that I've picked up from great minds like Dr. Jerry Lynch and John O'Sullivan. First, it can be really helpful to ask your athlete's permission. And what I mean by this is a simple question like, hey, I've got some thoughts on the game today if you'd like to hear them. If not, that's totally okay. I'm here and ready whenever you are. This gives the athlete control to receive the information when they are most emotionally ready to hear it. I mean, think about this. If you're angry or disappointed or hurting, is that really the time that you're going to be best primed to hear feedback? I know for me, it most definitely isn't. And so giving that athlete control, then they feel like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to hear this information. I'm ready to absorb it, and I'm ready to apply it. An acronym designed by Dr. Jerry Lynch sums it up pretty nicely. LUV. Listen to what your athlete is saying and their experience of the game or situation. While it may be catastrophized or different from the way that you see things, it's their experience of the game or the situation, and it's important for us to listen to that. Equally important is for us to understand that, asking probing questions to understand their point of view, like, tell me more about why you thought this happened. And then almost the most important step is to validate them. They want to be heard. They want to be understood. They want to have their emotions normalized. For example, wow, it sounds like that really made you feel upset. Jerry Lynch, who's been a sports psychologist in the world of collegiate basketball and professional basketball, his own son came to him saying that he wanted to quit basketball. And of course, Jerry did not want this and did not believe that his son actually wanted this, but took a breath and instead of kind of confronting him about that, engaged him in a calm conversation where he sought to understand. He validated his son's thoughts and emotions. Well, his son did not quit that day and continued on to have a successful playing and coaching career into adulthood, which is pretty cool. So when it comes down to it, before and after the game, the athlete really just needs to know that you expect effort, not results, effort, and that your love for them is unconditional. John O'Sullivan says that the most important thing for an athlete to hear from their parent is, I love to watch you play. I can't wait to watch you play. You could not play well enough to earn more of my love, and you could not play poorly enough to lose it. I love to watch you play. So, I know that was a quick and dirty intro into some things that you can do to support your athlete and make their experience the best that it can be. But hopefully it gave you some good things to think about and maybe apply in your athlete's training and performances. As we know, the mental game is immensely important for optimal performance, recognizing that the body and the mind are tied so closely together that we cannot possibly train one without training the other. You can train in the gym, on the field, do the right nutrition, recovery, mobility, but when it comes down to it, if you cannot perform under pressure, recover from mistakes, overcome obstacles when it matters the most, then there's a missing element. So, here at Fast Performance, we offer the following services: individual consultation, which really comes down to one on one mental skills training. We can work on anything from confidence, attentional control, performing under pressure, but also returning from injury, recognizing that that also has its own set of obstacles to overcome. We also offer team sessions, being able to work with an entire team dynamics, cohesion, communication, building a culture, how we as a team handle success and failures, how we as a team start strong and finish strong in our games and our performances. Some other options that we offer are coach consultation in groups, one-on-one work with parents, group education, Q&A sessions. We can also do some in-the-field work in the competition venue. Sometimes athletes find it a little bit easier to apply some of the things that we work on when they're actually in their competition venue. Some other things that we can do is biofeedback training, looking at psychophysiological regulation, how your athlete responds under stress and how their body responds under stress. And an athlete getting to see that on the computer screen and learn how to regulate that is an incredibly empowering experience. So I'd like to encourage any of you, if you have questions or comments or observations, please contact me. My contact information is at the bottom of the page, and I really look forward to working with you and seeing more of you.